Now, I'm sure a lot of you right now are thinking to yourselves, wait a second, we haven't seen a single camping video from you at all this year. Never mind any video from you this year, so what's the deal? Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're watching. Thank you for joining us. Today is another sad day in the Fun Parent legacy, and today is the day that we will be winterizing the Rockwood Roo 233S for the 2025 season. Now, I'm sure a lot of you right now are thinking to yourselves, wait a second, we haven't seen a single camping video from you at all this year. Never mind any video from you this year, so what's the deal? Well, this thing behind me right here might have something to do with that, and we'll be talking about that in today's video as we winterize the room. I got my helper here today. His mouth is on fire because he just ate some Asian Zing Buffalo Wild Wings. Nick, let's open this thing up. What do you say? Well, that's better. Now that everything's open, we can actually start the winterization process and getting everything cleaned out. But I'm sure the reason why a lot of you may have clicked this video is you haven't seen us in about a year, and you were probably like, what is going on with them? So let's give you a little rundown on what we've been up to. So back in October, November timeframe last year, we were done with our camping trips for the year. We were getting settled in for the holidays, and we stumbled across this house you see behind me here. We were not planning on buying a new house. We were not planning on moving, but for some reason, the world shined down upon us, this home, and we came and looked at it, and we fell in love with it. So we closed on the house on January 28th and moved in the following day. And from that day moving forward, we've been living in a new home. So that took up a lot of our year this year. We did not go on nearly as many trips as we had in the prior years. The trips that we did go on, I did film. We have just not edited or posted any of them yet. So this is kind of my welcome back to YouTube video for everybody. I appreciate all the comments and questions that people asked me about, how have you been? I hope everything's okay with you and the family. There was a lot more people that actually cared that we weren't here than I thought. So we are back. We're going to be posting weekly videos again, but I'll give you more of a rundown on what's going on with the house in a little bit. Let's start winterizing this camper though, because ultimately that's what we're here for right now. I do have my my helper with me today. Nick scored 2 goals today in his soccer game, which I'm real proud of. But Nick, there's no rest for the weary, bud. It's time to get to work. All right, Nick, the first thing we got to do is we got to drain the water out of the low point drains, which is right here. And if you're following along at home, in the Rockwood Roo 233S, at least in the 2022 version, it is located in the back passenger side of the camper. So can you unscrew those, Nick? These little caps right here?
Which side? Left
righty
or right?
tighty, lefty loosey. Other way.
Righty?
Yep. Turn it hard. Can you get it? Oh, there you go. The water's going to come out, so keep turning it. You got it. Turn it, turn it, turn it, turn it, turn it. Boom. All right, now go open up all the faucets in the kitchen. The kitchen, bathroom, open up all the faucets.
Wait, what?
All the faucets. Go turn on all the water. So now Nick is going to turn on all the faucets, and ultimately what you're doing.
Is that even the bathroom?
Yep, bathroom sinks, hot and cold, and then the kitchen as well. So ultimately what we're doing here is we're going to create a vacuum by sucking air through the open faucets to drain out all of that water. So right now you can see the water is coming out way faster than it was when it was just taking off the caps, and we're basically just going to sit and wait for all of that to drain out. All right, now our next step is going to be the hot water heater. So first thing we got to do is get the anode rod off. So Nick, the anode rod is this thing right here.
How do we get it off?
So there's a special tool I have for it. So let me get that.
I use this side or this side?
So Nick, that's the tool for the anode rod. You go tell me which side we need to use.
I think it's the tinier side.
You think it's the tinier side?
Yeah.
Let's see, does it fit? All right, good job. Now we got to get a screwdriver to turn it.
It's a screwdriver.
Nick, what's a screwdriver, dude? Grandpa's gonna be so mad.
Screw.
Oh, there you go.
So how do we twist it?
All right, there you go. Now you can just turn that. All right, back up because the water's going to start to come out. When it comes out, it's going to come out.
Like shoe?
Yeah. See, it's starting to come out now.
Good?
You could probably take the tool off and just use your hand now. Can you pull it out or do you need to unscrew it a little bit more?
Oh man.
There you go. All right.
Oh my God.
There we go. You did it. So now we're draining all of the water out of the hot water heater that's been sitting in there. And as you can see, there's a lot of residual like calcium deposits and mineral deposits in there. And that's where that baby comes into play. So Nick, hold that up for a second. So a lot of people get nervous when they see this because they think that like, oh man, there's something wrong with my hot water heater. This is what this thing does. It helps preserve that metal tank from getting corroded. This eats up a lot of those minerals that the hard water in some of these campgrounds has, and just helps neutralize everything inside the hot water heater. So we're now waiting for the hot water heater to drain out here. We're gonna drain all the water out of that. And while we're waiting for that, I will give you guys some information on the anode rods. So you could buy both that tool and the anode rods on Amazon. You can also get them at any RV supply store. I replace my rod every single year, okay? So I strongly suggest replacing it every year. This was probably one of the best it's looked in all the years that we've been camping. A lot of times that entire rod is almost deteriorated by the end of the camping season. So don't be nervous if you see that. Also, make sure you're replacing that rod every year to keep your water tank in the best possible way you can.
That's a full house.
Another tip I forgot about is there's a pressure release valve right here. If you just slightly lift that up, the water comes out much faster. While the water drains out of the tank, I just wanted to take another couple minutes. So I told you we closed on the house in January. We did run into quite a few issues with this house very quickly upon moving in that have eaten up a lot of our time and frankly a lot of the Fun Parent budget. So I am considering this the new Fun Parent home base per se, and the Fun Parent home base has cost us a lot of unexpected money this year, and that also ate into some of the budget that we could use usually for our trips. So hopefully we are in the process of trying to get some more stuff figured out. We do have a bunch of upcoming trips that we're working on planning, but like I said, you're going to start seeing new weekly videos every week after you see this video, and that's going to be kind of a backlog of everything that we did this year, plus 1 or 2 videos, some stuff that we've done a few years ago that I just never edited and posted. I'm going to get that content up there for you as well. But my commitment for 2026 is going to be a video a week back to what we were doing before, and that could be camper related. It could be a trip that we took. It might just be us updating you on something that we learned about the house. I don't know what any of this is going to look like yet, but stay tuned because the Fun Parent is not going away. All right, so now all the water is out of the hot water heater. So now, if you stick your finger in the hole, you're going to start to realize that there is a lot of mineral buildup in here. So we're going to try to flush that out the best we can. And I believe I have a tool that Stubbs gave me that can help with that. So Nick is holding the tool that I was just talking about. So this is actually a wand used to clean the inside of a DE filter for a pool. But we are going to use this to clean out inside. So if you look on the tip here, there's a little tip with a hole that is going to spray high pressure water out. So we're going to feed this right into here, just about there, Nick, because you don't want everything, you want everything to stay to the edge. Yeah, I got to go turn the water on first though, so stay put. All right, Nick, let her rip.
Whoa.
There you go, just let it sit there, just like that. And as you can see now, we've got a lot of white water pouring out of here, and that's basically just all of that residual that was in the tank. And we're gonna let that flow for a few minutes. So you can see, I mean, just to give you an idea, that's what's coming out of there, and it is all over the tank here. So that's the kind of stuff you got to be mindful of. That is all sitting in that hot water heater, and over time it will eventually cause issues to the heater. So the best you can clean out the inside of that tank, the better.
So now Dad is pulling it out a little bit, and then the water's shooting out all over him. And then when he pulled it out a little bit on me, it shot it like that. Did you see that?
You gave me this thing years ago, never thought I was going to use it. Probably the best thing I've ever used to clean out that hot water heater. Thanks, Stubbs. All right, so most of the water now has come out of the tank. There might still be a little bit sitting in here, which it looks like there is, but the bottom line is this hole is going to stay open throughout the entire winter. And the concept there is if anything does freeze, this will allow the expansion of the ice to kind of come out of this hole, and just let it kind of just fall out through here versus it actually damaging the inside of the tank if you plug that hole up. So you're not going to want to close that hole up at all after you take that rod out. We're going to leave that open for right now, Nick. And now it is time to pump the pink liquid through. All right, Nick, we made it inside the camper. Do you know where the hot water heater is in here?
Back here?
It is back there, you're right. So let's roll that over.
How?
So, a couple things about the way we're about to do this. So there is an access panel that you can access from the outside door there, and if you went and bought your RV from one place, they may have told you have to take off that access panel. What I found to be the easiest way to do this, hop off of there, Nick,
Okay.
is we're gonna roll that bench over, and then we're gonna lift this up. And guess what? When you lift that up, you have complete access to the hot water heater without having to take out this here panel. In my case, this panel is actually broken already. And as you can see, just to kind of give you a little idea of what I'm dealing with here, if you look down in that insulation, there is signs of mice, which is one of the other things we are going to talk about. Since we bought this house, this has been one of the only times where we have consistently come in the camper and seen signs of rodents. I don't know if they're chipmunks, I don't know if they're mice, but I'm going to show you what I'm going to try this year to deter them from coming in, and hopefully, fingers crossed, it will work. All right, Nick, so now here's what we have to do. We got to turn some valves here. I'll just show you where it is so you know for the next time, okay? So there's going to be two valves we have to switch over, one for the hot water and one for the cold water. So to bypass that, you can see right now the valve is pointed towards the hot water heater. So all we're going to do is we are just going to turn it.
I got here.
Like that. So now it's facing towards the pipe. Ultimately, what we just did was we just bypassed the hot water coming out of this valve here. And we're going to do the same thing down here on this one. We're going to turn it. This one turns towards. All right. And now basically there is a tube in the back here, which is white, that basically just loops between these two, and that's going to connect the whole system together and bypass that hot water heater. Good job, bro.
Now what do we do? Put the purple stuff.
Now we have to go and we have to take off a compartment in the back. So let's head to the back. And here is where a trick in not overpacking your camper comes into play. So now we have to take out all the stuff that's in the way of me getting access to what is behind this. So that we can remove all the stuff that's behind there and then get to the panel that we need to take off.
How do we get this little tent out?
I'll take it out.
The tent out. How did you already get that?
I just whacked my elbow.
How do you already get the tent out, Dad?
Here's your soccer ball.
Huh. Thanks. Let's play soccer sometime.
That should be good. Nick's grabbing me a screwdriver.
This one?
It's pretty cool having him kind of be out here with me doing this, because normally I'm just out here by myself or I'm with Stubbs. It's kind of cool teaching somebody else how to do it so he can do it by himself next year.
Okay, now Daddy's drilling me.
All right, so I got the panel off, and now you've got the water canister filter in there, which we have stopped using. So I stopped using that at the beginning of this year because the filter replacement cartridge, when I put it in and screwed it back in, it wasn't sitting perfect and just started spraying water everywhere. So I've just defaulted to one of those external filters. There's the tool right there that will take that filter off. It is filled with water right now, so I am going to have to take that off and dump it. But that little valve right there is what we need to bypass. So basically, essentially what that does is that is the valve that goes to the pump. When we turn that, it is essentially going to stop the water from going from the fresh water tank to the pump and then into the camper, and will actually pull from this antifreeze inlet right here on the outside. So let's do that now. I got the whole thing out, I didn't spill a drop. So just to recap what we've done so far. First step, drain the low point drains. Second step, oh, Abby's here. Hi, Abby. How are you?
We're gonna put those beds up.
We is this supposed to rain?
Look at the sky. We came in, there's black clouds.
Court's here too.
Alright, come on, Abby.
Next step, drain the hot water heater. After the hot water heater got drained, took that panel off. This bypassed the hot water heater, bypassed the fresh tank receiver, and now we're ready to start pumping the pick stuff through. So after my first year of winterizing the camper, I realized that you're better off filling up this canister first. That way you make sure that you're not just pumping the water pump just to fill this. So I usually fill this up about 3/4 of the way. That way it's easier to screw back in. I generally screw it in hand tight, and then you can kick the pump on and then pump the antifreeze through the rest of the system. All right, Nick, let's fill her up. And keep going, keep going, keep going. All right, that's good. So now at this point you have two options. You can screw that panel back on here because you don't need to access behind the access panel anymore. I generally just leave it off for the winter because I'm gonna have to get right back in there again in the spring just to drain it all out. So I just leave it off. That's totally up to you though.
What's gonna happen?
What?
What's gonna happen?
All right, so we now hooked I have this hose that I cut the end off of, which goes into the gallon of antifreeze. We then hook that hose up to the antifreeze inlet here. And now what I'm gonna do, just a reminder to everybody to make sure you plug back up your low point drains. Because now those are completely drained out, and if you started pumping the antifreeze through, it's just gonna dump out there anyway. So now those are nice and tight. And then Nick, you're gonna let me know when that bottle's empty, okay? We have to turn on the water pump, so that is now active. And then we're just gonna go faucet by faucet. So we're gonna start here. What? I never actually reset the bypass from when I de-winterized it in the spring, so I was just trying to pull water from the fresh water tank. All right, that's what we're looking for, Nick. We're doing cold first, and that is what we were looking for, consistent cold. Now the sink in the kitchen is done. And everything is all going to go down into the gray tank, and that will keep the gray tank from freezing over as well. And now we're going to head over here into the bathroom and do the same thing in the bathroom sink. Already pink coming out. Let's switch over to hot, and it's already coming out. Perfect. Now, so this just unscrews. So I just unscrew this, make sure all the water's out of it. I leave that right there, and then same concept. We got pink coming out of the cold, and there's the pink coming out of the hot. So we're good there. And then I generally just let that all go down the drain. I will rinse that out later as I'm cleaning. But that's it. That's it for there. No. Same concept with the outside shower. I'm going to unscrew the head, drain all the water out. I'll tuck that right in there, and then we'll pump the stuff through. So what we just completed right there is arguably the most important part of the winterization process, because that is what keeps all of your water lines from freezing over the winter time. And the next step is going to be to start thinking about cleaning out and making this baby rodent proof, which we'll be talking about in a few minutes. All right, water pump is now off. Now I can come back over to here, dump that residual antifreeze out. I'm gonna leave just a little bit kind of hanging out in there. It will clean up when we do it in the spring. And that right there is how to winterize from a water perspective. And now we're going to dive into what's next, and that's going to be cleaning out the camper, getting anything out of here that we don't think is going to be safe to keep in here over the winter, and then start thinking about making this place as rodent proof as humanly possible. So let's just do a quick sweep through of what you see inside the camper right now. These are our pillows and comforters for the beds. My argument is that these things are pretty much rodent proof because an animal will most likely not chew through this material. We've been using these every year since we got the camper, and we've never had an issue with them. So they're going to stay like this. What I will do is I will pump these with dryer sheets just to keep anything that may want to make a home in there not want to be in there. As we pan over to here, everything you see here, including the stuff underneath, all of this stuff can stay in here. That is just our outdoor TV, our outdoor rugs, laundry rack, Miller's bed. I might take Miller's bed and move it just because I can already see there are some signs of animals being in here. Yeah, as you can see, there are some sign of rodents being in here. So I'm gonna probably tuck his bed away in one of those containers. The big difference, all of the stuff up here I have to pack up because I don't want to leave any of that out for any reason to let them think that they can make themselves nice and comfortable there. And then we're going to talk about what I'm going to do with the mattresses this year, which is different than what we've done with them in the years past. As we head over to here, we've got, again, 2 more mattresses. We'll talk about those. We've got all the stuff up here that I want to take out and figure out what we're going to keep in here and what we can get rid of. And then the grill we're going to take out as well. I don't want to leave anything in here that smells like food or might be a reason for an animal to want to come in here. So just spent some time cleaning out the fridge. I cleaned up a little bit of the rest of the camper, went through some stuff. I packed all of the stuff that was up above there that was all like fabric related, and anything over here that was fabric related into this plastic bin here to hopefully keep the rodents out of there. All of that will also be stuffed with dryer sheets as well. So Grandpa Gus's mouse repellent, rodent repellent, that is what I used last year to winterize the camper. It didn't work. It was the first time we ever got rodents in the camper, and I do believe that these things did not hold up to what they said they were going to do. You were supposed to replace them every 90 days according to the pouch, which I did not do, obviously. But I've used dryer sheets in the past with no issue, and the dryer sheets lasted the whole winter. So that is what I'm going back to. I'm also taking some other precautions here, since there does seem to be a lot more rodents around this area than there was where we stored the camper at the storage unit, and we're going to get to that now. First precaution we are taking this year, all 3 mattresses have been vacuum sealed in this queen size moving mattress moving bag. All 3 fit in there. It is full queen size, so they all fit perfect. I vacuum sealed it to as tight as I could get it. And now I'm going to pack this in here like this. That way all of the beds do not have mattresses in them, because generally what we found was most of the time when we found any kind of remnants of animals inside the beds, they were in between the fold and the mattress. So basically, essentially, we just removed the mattress from the equation, and now hopefully it'll be less of a spot for them to want to hang out in. The next step, as I mentioned earlier, dryer sheets. I have 240 bounce dryer sheets, outdoor fresh scent. I don't know if it matters which scent it is, but I'm going to literally pack these things in everywhere in the camper now. So anywhere there's an open crevice, anywhere there's something that I feel a mouse could want to make a home in, I'm going to stick this in. I'm going to put it under the dinette. I'm going to put it underneath the cushions of the dinette, in between the cushions of the dinette, all over the top of the dinette, in all of these cubbies, in all of these cabinets, all over the place, in all the tent beds. And hopefully that'll keep everything out and it'll make it smell delicious. Dryer sheets are all spread out for the most part. As you can see, I put a pretty good dent in that box, so I was not shy with the dryer sheets. So I mean, they are all over the place in these cabinets. I put about 5 to 6 or 6 to 7 per cabinet, all on the shelves, all inside the beds. I mean, everything is loaded with dryer sheets right now, and it already smells amazing in here. Nick came in and already made a comment about it. I also vacuum sealed all of the beach towels in a bag, and then that plastic bin has all the rest of our towels in it, also fully loaded with dryer sheets as well. And now I'm going to try to get the rest of this disaster cleaned up and organized in here. A lot of this stuff is just kind of shifted because it was on the bed. A lot of this stuff is stuff that we usually have outside. I'm going to move all this, then I can pull the slide in, and then once the slide is pulled in, then I can start doing some of the other precautions for mice. Got the slide in, so now the final layer of protection that I'm putting in place for the camper this year is a 2-step process. I'm going to be putting these in the camper. There's 4 of these in this pack. These are basically just poison bait traps. I'm gonna put them in all the little nooks and crannies inside the camper. That way, if anything does decide to go make its home in there, hopefully what'll happen is it'll get hungry, it'll find these, it'll chew on them, and then it'll decide to leave the camper to go get water and ultimately die. I know that seems harsh, but at the same time, I've got a big investment here in this camper, and I've got to protect it. The other is this outdoor trap. So this is actually a much larger, this is for rats and mice. It has 15 block baits and 1 big refillable bait station. So this is like the ones that you see outside places. I'm actually going to put this under the camper. And then hopefully, essentially what will happen is anything that is thinking about going in the camper will first go into this, eat this poison, and then slowly take a dirt nap. And the final line of defense is a rodent repellent that I can spray. This is safe for in and out. I'm a little nervous spraying it inside the camper, so what I'm actually going to do this year is I'm just going to spray the entire underneath area of the camper with this the best I can, get as much of it as I can, spray the ground around the camper with it, and hopefully that'll keep things away from by the camper, and hopefully it'll last the entire winter. Well, we're all closed up for now. Entire camper's winterized, hopefully rodent proofed, traps are set, peppermint sprayed all over underneath the camper, all over anything that a mouse might want to consider climbing up onto. The only thing left to do tomorrow is I just have to wash the tent beds off. I'm going to use like a light, maybe soap and water mixture on the tent beds to clean those off. Once those are dry, I can throw the cover on, cover up the wheels, and we are done for the season. So I'll get you guys some footage of that tomorrow, but I'm going to go relax for a little bit. It's the next morning. It's cold. It's cloudy. No better time to have to wash tent beds, but I'm going to be doing that today. I've got to blow off the roof, do a quick seal check on everything, just get an idea of what may need to be repaired on the roof come springtime, cover this baby up, disconnect the batteries, and then we are fully winterized for the year. So my initial plan was to hop up on here and then just clean them from here, but I might just open them up. I don't know, I kind of feel like just going on here is going to be easier. As you can see, these things got pretty dirty over this last season, so I want to make sure I get them nice and clean before we close this thing up for the year. All right, so I ended up landing on, I'm going to clean this setup here like this to get the top done. Once the top is clean, then I'm going to set up the tent beds so that it dries better. I'll do all the sides, and then we'll see how long that takes to dry before I can go in and vacuum out all the zippers in the windows. But all I'm using for this, hot water with a little bit of Dawn dish soap and just your regular car wash sponge. And I'm hoping that's going to take off most of it. And then I just have a towel out here just to dry it off if it gets too wet, and also just to make sure that I'm getting it as clean as possible. Well, Kaylee's bed is done. It came out pretty clean. I mean, there's a little stain here and there that I might try to get off with a solution in the spring, but at least I got the majority of that dirt off and just that muck that was sitting on top of it. On to Nick's. Oh, look. There's a sock in there in between the screen and the waterproof window closing, so I'll have to get that out when I open up the tent bed. This one has some gnarly wet spots on it here. I don't know if that's from water gathering inside the tent from where we are when it's closed up or what, but we're gonna clean it up now. Just finished up Nick's, but thought I'd also add, I forgot to mention this when I did Kaylee's, I also do a really good job of wiping down these seals inside underneath here and also on top, because ultimately when it rains, water is going to come this way and it's going to sit in this trap. So if these things aren't clean and are free of debris, you could potentially have little drops of water getting into here, in which case you're probably going to have a little bit of a situation down the road. Now this is the one I'm dreading, because as you can see, it is much higher up off the ground than the others were, just because of how slanted our driveway is. That's how high off the ground we have to build the blocks. So this one's going to be interesting. And just to double down on that point I made before, you could already see how many leaves are in the track here. I want to make sure all of these are out of here, because if one of these gets stuck like here when you close this bed up, that's a recipe for disaster. I mean, this camper is going to be closed up for the winter, so it's going to have a cover on it, but you still don't want to take that chance. So just get all that stuff out of there before you get started. Man, that one was way dirtier than I thought it was. Just got the top done, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go inside the camper. I'm going to pop up all the tent beds from the inside so that they're all actually fully out. That'll allow the top to dry evenly, blow off any extra debris that maybe got on there, and then I'll start cleaning the sides. Once I'm done with that and the sides are drying, the next step is I'm going to hop up on the roof. I'm going to blow the roof off, and then I'll blow off any residual leaves that maybe fell on, get any debris out, and then I can come back around with the vacuum and clean inside the screens. The tent beds are up, and the sock and a popped balloon animal were acquired at a Nick's bed. How does that even happen? I will say this, cleaning those tent beds makes all the difference in the look of this RV. I mean, it is like shimmering right now. I'm up on the roof now. I just blew off all the leaves and debris and everything. And now the next step I'm going to do is I'm going to be checking all of my seals. So if you're new to RVing and you're trying to check out to see what you might need to do, basically what this is the lap sealant that keeps the RV roof from leaking. And basically every year I just go around and I check to make sure it's all in good shape, make sure it's not cracking anywhere, and then if it is, I fill it in. I just did this not too long ago and everything seemed to be okay, but we'll just do a quick once over here. See, now this is what you're looking for here. So if you look in that tiny little hole right there, you're gonna notice that there's actually no seal in there. And you can also see along this edge, it's all cracked here. So I am gonna have to fix that. It also appears to be peeling a little bit here as well. I'll end up coming out here in the springtime once I get lap sealant and fill that all in. The reason why I'm not worried about it right now is this is going to be covered for the winter, so it's not going to get any water on the roof during the winter time. But in the spring, I am going to have to address that. It all kind of makes a lot of sense now, because there's a light right down below this corner that I just happened to switch on during our last camping trip, and it didn't turn on, and I was like, never used this light before. Maybe it never worked, but my guess is that there's probably water getting down this exterior wall and it ruined that light. So we'll figure that out in the spring too. Well, the roof is all now cleared off and clean. So now the next step is going to be to grab the cover and put the cover on. Let's go get it. Back on the roof, I got my cover right here. So this is a Camco cover. I could post a link of where I think I ordered this from Camping World though, so I don't remember exactly which model it is. I ordered it a few years ago. But I would say always try to make sure you have somebody with you when you're doing this, because Court's coming to my rescue right now. I'm not going to put her on camera because she's still in her PJs, because it is early on a Sunday morning. But I left the vent fan on when I closed the tent beds. So instead of me having to climb down, I just called Court to come do it. But I'm going to start unraveling this thing while she turns off that vent fan, and then I'll show you guys an idea of how to get it on. I figure this is about as good a time as any to also highlight one of the other new additions to the Fun Parent arsenal, and that is that baby right there. So that is a 2024 Ford Expedition Max Limited. We ended up picking that up because the old Tahoe was just not cutting it anymore. We are absolutely loving that truck, but in future videos you are going to see some drama that we did have with that truck though, so stay tuned for that. So now I have the cover. Let me turn this way. So I have the cover all out of the bag now. Here's what I'll tell you. If you have an extra person available to help you with this, it does make it a little bit easier. I'm used to doing it now by myself, but just be careful. You are high off the ground. I mean, my camper stands about 10 feet off the ground. I would argue that with the hill, I'm probably 12 to 15 feet off the ground. just be careful when you're doing this part, because you're going to slowly start to unroll the camper, the bag. Once you actually get the thing kind of spread out, you're going to see one side is labeled front, one side is labeled back, and then you could just start shimmying it over the sides. Obviously start with the opposite end of where your ladder is. That way you can still get off the roof. Once you have the entire roof covered, then once the roof is completely covered, then what you can do is you can actually just hop off of the roof and then use a ladder to go around and pull it down the remaining way down the side of the camper. Well, there she is, all wrapped up and ready for the slumber of the winter. The batteries are out. They are now trickle charging in the basement. Hope you guys got something out of this video. Hope you missed us. It's been a long time coming, but we do have a whole series of videos that are already recorded that I'm going to start editing and getting posted out weekly after this one airs. And we've also got some other fun stuff on the horizon. So with that being said, we're done, son. Do you think it would be easier if we didn't have to climb under there?
I mean, I can.
But we got to get into that door right there.
Oh.
I know. Let's put the bed up. It'll be
No,
easier.
it's okay. It's okay.
We'll just put it up for right now.